modify integrity levels, to look at them and change them and stuff like that. And so that was interesting. That was really interesting. I found that there was a lot of hooey about what you could and couldn't do. Turns out that you can raise an integrity level to your level, but no higher. So as an administrator, I can raise something to high, which is the administrator level, but I can't go to the next level, which is system. So again, I'm talking to the Microsoft guys, and I said, what happens if somebody figures out how to root your system with a system level, hire the administrator? The answer was, it's game over then. All Norton sources and all Norton's men can't put your disk back together again at that point, right? And that's just not acceptable. So I figured out, because one of the Microsoft guys said to me, well, there's really no way to run a system. I think he meant there was no one way, because I figured three out. One is that if you schedule a task, you can run a system. Second, Racinovich's PS exec will send you a system. Right. And third, if you boot with Windows PE, you're running a system. And because my little app is just a simple Win32 console app, it's not .NET, runs fine on WinPE or server core. So I actually built that into the app. And so now it is possible from the command line to change things to system level, even better, to pull them down from system level. So really all I'm doing is I'm saying, guys, this is a cool thing. It never really went anywhere, but because the plumbing's still there, I'm afraid this might be used for evil and not for good. And so here's a tool I wrote. This is how to, so the basic message is, if you're an admin, you got control of something, you're trying to delete it, and it doesn't, the antenna should go up at this point. Pull out my tool, look at the integrity level. If it says system, okay, disconnect from the network, and now it's time to start doing some forensics.
Excellent. That was a really, really cool message when I sat at the tail end of your session there. Yeah, absolutely.
It's fun stuff.
And catching that piece. The other thing that struck me as I looked at the big schedule, right? So you do 75 minutes on Kerberos.
You know what? I do more than 75 minutes on Kerberos.
I mean, I'm a geek, right? And I love that kind of stuff. You had like a gazillion people in the room.
Actually, I had the record number. At this point, we're at, what, Thursday morning?
Right.
Nobody's had as many people in a session. Now, that rotten Racinovich is probably going to beat me with his Case of the Unexplained, which is always a great talk on Friday. But, you know, Joey, this astounded me too. Here's where it comes from. So I'm learning security stuff. To me, I always kind of felt like I got involved with computers in 1973. And I got involved for the same reason I think most young guys do, is that computer games, computer programming is kind of cool, and pornography. And so, but, you know, one thing I knew I didn't want to be was a security guy. Because, like, security guys worry about, like, for example, I was at this place once in 1984, it was a show where they had security biometric stuff. And they had a dude had a box about the size of a Hayes small hardcover book. And I realized the crowd, some of the folks don't have. Anyway, so sorry about that. $1,400, you plug it into the XT, and if you put your thumb up against it, you could start the XT, and if the thumb didn't match, then, you know, $1,400. For $5,500, this is $5,500, $1984, okay? White box with a hole in it, does the same thing. You know, you put your thumb in it, reads the thumbprint. I'm like, $5,500, $1,400. I said to the sales guy, why the $5,500 one? He says, it's better. I said, you're a sales guy. I know you said it. Why? He says, well, you know, when you put your thumb in the hole, it runs infrared through your thumb to make sure blood is pulsing in the thumb. Security people have to think like this. Thank God, you know, I love them. But I wanted to avoid it. But you know what, when all the internet worm stuff happened to change my mind, in '99 I started saying, I need to get smarter about security. And I was lucky, because that means when the big wave hit in 2001, I was able to help a lot of people and have done a lot of consulting. Okay, that was a wind-up to answer your story about Kerberos. Here's why. Everybody told me that LM authentication and NTLM authentication, boy, these things suck dead donkeys through a garden hose, and they're just not secure at all. And I would say to these these security experts, why? And the answer was basically, everybody knows that Microsoft security sucks. Okay, that's fine. You got the slam in, and maybe you're right. Hey, there's some Microsoft stuff that does suck. Can you tell me why? Well, everyone knows. So, and there wasn't any documentation. So I spent a lot of time with the network traces. I talked to the Samba guys, because the Samba guys had reverse engineered, and I really figured out how LM, NTLM, NTLM v2, and Kerberos work. I thought, well, you know, just for chuckles, let me do a talk on this. 75-minute talk. Now, I don't know how many of my talks you've been to, but in any case, I try to be entertaining. I try to keep them awake. We're talking, this is dry stuff, you know? And if you can't make it fun, you know, hell, I'd be a white paper, you know, and you just download me. And never look at me, right? So, and I'm astounded. Because, I mean, I actually have had the cold sweats. I've been doing that talk for like 5 years. And I do it conference after conference. It always fills the room. But I get the cold sweats at like the 45th minute where I've used like one joke or I made them smile once. I'm like, I'm going to die here. I'm just like going through the desert without any water. They're going to kill me. And people love it. People who are really smart. I mean, like Sean Doobie smart. Right. You know, Kim said, you know what? I never understood that. Now you made it understandable. I understand what tickets are about. And it's because it's uncharted territory for me. It's, you know, just informing and not entertaining. But they love it. And so I finally, last year,